Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. It is officially a wintry wonderland outside, which, while beautiful, I don't want to head out in this. I think it's going to be an indoor vlog today. Yup, that's for sure. I do love the snow, but it's just too much today. It's also like negative 10 degrees, which here in the lower mainland outside Vancouver is actually pretty unusual. But I have a cool topic to discuss today. I'm going to talk about two albums that meant a lot to me growing up and that basically made me fall in love with vinyl. And these two albums are very, very different. So the first album I wanted to show you guys is this. Walt Disney Presents Dennis Day and the Story of Johnny Appleseed. The Story of Johnny Appleseed was a short film segment in the 1948 package film Melody Time, which I had on VHS as a kid and actually loved it. I just went back and watched it yesterday because Disney Plus is a thing now, and it reminded me of this album. The story behind this is when I was a little kid, my grandma had one of those sort of multimedia things where you had like a record player in it and a tape player and a CD player, but it wasn't an antique by any means. It was one of those cheap things you could have bought at like a Sears or something, but she had a few of these record albums and I wasn't even really sure what they were, and she was like, ooh, before CDs they had these big things. They get played with a needle on this turning platter, and she like showed me how it worked. And I remember as like probably a 7-year-old kid just staring at that like, whoa, this is so cool. It's such a neat antique. And just by chance, this was the album she put on for me. I guess she figured it was a good album for kids to listen to. And I knew the songs again from having watched the movie. It was on this Disneyland Records thing. I believe this is the exact copy that I would have. I think this came from her house. I'm kind of blanking on whether that's true, but I feel like this is from the pile of records I got from her house, making this the exact first record I ever listened to. And I remember one thing that I was fascinated by was that you'd get halfway through the album and then you'd have to flip it over, and that the second half was actually physically on the other side. Of course, I was used to CDs where you just put it in and you just listen to the whole thing, no flipping required. And I just thought that was really cool. And I remember the whole length of the album, I would just basically watch the record spin. And I don't know why, but that's still kind of the case for me. I don't have a cover that I put on my turntable. I don't know why. I like to watch it spin, still to this day. And the second album I want to show you, completely different, Kiss Alive. When I got into Kiss, I was probably about 10 years old, and I used to go on websites like kissfaq.com, which is still an excellent resource, and I believe kissfanshop.de, and they would all have lots of images from throughout the band's history, and I, even from a very young age, really studied up on their history. I even have a series on this channel, my history series, where I go by pretty much year by year, album by album, going through their whole history. I've done the first 9 videos of that series, with episode 10 coming soon. But yeah, I quickly became obsessed. And one cool thing they had on kissfaq.com was they had images for all of the various albums that they put out and all of the original inserts and fun little things that they would include with the original vinyl pressings. Kiss was really cool for that. I think they knew they had a fan base of like kids and teenagers that like to have goodies, so they'd throw like booklets in some of the albums, merchandise order sheets, even like little temporary tattoo sets and stickers. And so I loved to study that, and so I pretty much knew what every Kiss album release looked like on vinyl before I even ever had seen one. So by the time I was 12 or 13, needless to say, all I wanted was a record player. And then Christmas came one year, or maybe it was my birthday. I don't even remember what year it was, but I was approximately 12 or 13. I opened up my Christmas gift, and my parents had got me one of those super cheap, like suitcase style record players. It wasn't a Crosley, but it was that sort of thing. And a small pile of records that they found at a thrift store, and on top of the pile was this. This is my favorite Kiss album ever, and it was on vinyl, and I was floored. It was just like I'd seen online. It had the gatefold that I knew about, of course, this famous gatefold, and it even had the original booklet that I knew that it had come with, and I was so floored. I had this in my possession, and I listened to it over and over. I just love that booklet. I even, from looking it up online, had known what the record itself and the center ring label looked like. Now, if you'll notice, it's all taped together. That's not because they bought me a really bad copy of the album. It's because I was so obsessed with it that I listened to it and just constantly, and I completely wore it to crap. Since then, I've got this newer copy of Kiss Alive. This is the 2008 Back to Black reissue, which is really not my favorite version of this album. It's like riddled with historical inaccuracies, including using the incorrect center ring labels. But that's neither here nor there. That's just me being obsessive. It does sound pretty good, and that's really all that matters. But yeah, Kiss Alive was very important to me, and it was the first album I ever listened to on my own record player. That Johnny Appleseed album was the first album that anyone ever showed me and let me listen to on their record player when I was even younger. And I just thought I'd show you guys those two albums today after I watched Melody Time yesterday. I was like, I got an idea for a vlog. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching. If you don't know, I am a professional musician myself, and you can check out the description for a full list of all my upcoming concert dates, as well as links to where you can find my music, where it's sold or streamed online. You can like this video if you liked what you saw. You can subscribe to this channel if you've been enjoying all of my content, and you can even ring the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video, which should be tomorrow and most days for the foreseeable future. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you again with another new vlog tomorrow. See you then.